Welcome to The Story Place, a storytelling podcast from the YMCA of Snohomish County. Here, we share real stories of people, place, and connection. Past to present, these are stories of belonging, growth, and impact, because there's no place like this place. Our guest today loves unique socks, dill pickled flavored anything, Dr. Pepper, pink drinks, and my grandma's famous cookies. But honestly, who doesn't? He owns more inflatable costumes than any grown adult reasonably should, and once wore a yellow prom dress while hovering over a pool. He's also a huge baseball fan with the goal of visiting every major league stadium in the country, and is a proud owner of a corgi named Kevin. Rob, tell Kevin we said hi.
Will do.
Beneath all of that is someone who, with an enormous heart, who's always willing to lend a hand and serve others. Please welcome Rob Millard, Vice President of Property Management for the YMCA of Snohomish County.
Thank you for having me.
Ooh,
Super
yeah.
excited.
Before we start, we need to know what socks you're wearing today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, today I brought the Snoopy Pride socks
Okay.
Awesome.
because, I mean, who doesn't love both those things? Yeah, I maybe famously, maybe not, I have about 300 pairs of socks, and I love socks. If in a perfect world, I would put a brand new pair of socks on every day and never wear the same one twice.
Right.
But I need lots of variety. So
Yeah.
I was going to say, you probably could do that and then just wash them and donate them to somebody who really found.
my wife maybe has a problem with the amount of socks I have, so I don't want to
but if you
that.
give them away.
Yeah. Mostly they get stolen by my kids.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the socks are a problem in my house.
Nice.
Yeah, because 300 pairs is 600 socks, obviously. And
Yes. What generally happens, we do the laundry, we will fold the things together, and then Regina looks at the pile of socks and says, "I'm out." And then that's my job.
Nice.
It's worth it for the glory of all the socks.
the glory of all the socks. Well, on that note,
There you go.
okay, so most people experience the Y through a workout class or program, and your work shapes the spaces where all those things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So how did your journey at the Y begin?
It was kind of funny, actually. I worked for a different company, and the Monroe Y opened, and all of our members left to go to the Monroe Y because they had a pool and they were great and all the things. And I was just bitter because I live in Duval and I used to commute to Monroe, and now I had to commute to Seattle. And so I wasn't terribly happy with the Y. And, it's what it was. Years later, my kids started basketball and stuff, and they did it. They didn't love basketball. It wasn't the experience with the Y. They just didn't love the sport, which was hard for me because my wife and I both played back in the day. And so when this job came open, I looked at it. I was like, Everett would be better than driving to Seattle. But also, I don't know how much I love the Y. It's fine, whatever. It's a job. And I didn't apply for it. And then 3 months later, it was still there. And I was having one of those days at work. I'm like, I got to get out. And I applied for the job, ended up getting the job. And mostly because I had a really great boss who hired me. Tom Brown was by far my best mentor at the Y, and really helped me to kind of see what property management really is. And it's not just changing light bulbs. And he came, and I was negotiating for my salary pretty hard. And I was like, I need this, and I need this, and I need this. And he's like, yeah, I'm not sure I can do that. I was like, I'll have to talk to the CEO. I was like, okay, call me back. And I hung up on him. And this was after 4 interviews. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I was done. And he called me back and said, hey, I worked it out. We can give you what you're asking for. I was like, that's super awesome. Thank you. A year later, I found out that he decided to forego his pay raise that year to make room in the budget for what I was asking for.
Wow.
Tom is the nicest guy in the world and has really made me the person I am today.
That's awesome. So rewinding a little bit, did you always envision a career in property management or facilities? What's kind of your background?
No.
How you landed in that department even?
Yeah, by accident, maybe. I was the first one in my family to go to college.
Okay.
And so I was like, I want to go to law school and do all the things. I went to law school, and it was rough. And so a year in, I was like, this is not working for us. And so I left that. We went and I started working in politics, doing local races up to congressional races. And the candidate I was working for didn't win. And so here I was, 2 small kids and a wife, and I'm out of work. I'm like, I have nothing to do, nowhere to go, and there's no election coming up. And so what am I going to do? And so I looked at some options, and there was a opening for a company in Seattle. I was like, oh, I'll just apply there until the next big election, maybe work a year or whatever. And about 3 months into that job, my boss got fired. And so I went to the COO and I was like, hey, I'd really love his job. And I'm a little annoyed you didn't come talk to me about it because frankly, I'm great at my job. I also have a bit of an ego, right? And so he said, well, we were just waiting for you to ask. We really wanted you to want it. I'm like, I want it. Let me do it. And he did. And then 6.5 years later, I ended up leaving, but to come work for the Y. Mm-hmm. And so it just sort of worked out. Mm-hmm. And when I got to the Y, I was like, it was a job. Like it came in, cause like I'm really good at property management. It was great. I walked through the old Everett Y the first or second day. And as I'm wandering the 17 stairwells and the 5 floors and all the things, I found my way back to this really great space. It was we called it the Adventure Zone. It had 20-foot ceilings, big windows, floor to ceiling. It was amazing. And I immediately ran back to Tom's office and I said, Tom, we have to make this our cardio room because the cardio room was in the basement and it was terrible. And I hated everything about it. And it was where the old pool was, where we built a floor over the top. So I was like, we have to do something better here. And let's move it into this room. And he's like, yeah, we don't do that. And I was super annoyed. And I was like, what? This is why you hired me. Let me do my job. And so every day for a couple of weeks, I would walk down there at lunch and walk through that space, trying to figure out how I can convince him to do the thing.
Yeah.
Finally, Michelle Pitzer, who has the honor of being our longest serving Y employee.
Yeah.
She looked at me and was like, Rob, why are you here? I was like, I'm trying to figure that out right now. I need to make this work. And she's like, oh, Rob, we don't do that. I was like, why do people tell me this? What's going on? And she's like, can I just walk with you for a second? And she walked me to each classroom. There were 5. And in each classroom, she pointed out how many kids got financial assistance, how many of those kids wouldn't have anywhere to go if we weren't there, how often we fed those kids. And she's like, these kids need an adult who cares for them. And this is a place that happens. If we weren't here, these kids wouldn't have anywhere to go. And so that realization kind of hit me. And I walked back up and I sat down. Tom and I shared an office at the time, which was funny in its own way. We were both very loud. So I sit down at my desk facing him and I said, yeah, we can't do it. He's like, what are you talking about? I can't do the cardio thing. And he looked at me and said, it took you long enough. I was like, well, maybe some help next time. I don't know. But that changed my perspective on how we use our spaces and what we do with our spaces.
Yeah.
And honestly, I will never leave the Y. It's the fact that we are a place where every person's valued is super important. And those kids finally had someone who parents love them, but just were not in a situation where they could be home with them or provide for them the care that they needed. And we did that, and we did it at a loss because it was more important that the kid had a caring adult in their life. And so it changed how I looked at everything.
Yeah.
So what would you say initially then, besides maybe the commute and you were having a rough day at work, what initially drew you to the Y? And then, you obviously touched on it a little bit, but what was the pinnacle moment of when you were like, this is where I'm going to make my career?
I think it started with Michelle. And then I got to be part of stuff that was more than just making money. When I worked for a corporate gym, I was good at my job. We made a lot of money. We did very well. And that was fine. But really, it made my boss rich. It didn't really fill my bucket so much as I really wanted to. And so I spent a lot of time outside of work doing things that made me happy. When I figured out the real reason the Y is here and really what we do, what our mission really is about, then I was like, I'm in all the time, because I get to now have the happy payoff days every day at work, and not just, I made my boss a bunch of money. And I think me personally, I need to have payoff days. I need the thing where something good got done, something got accomplished. I really like to check the box. I like a good list. It makes me super happy. I love to mow the grass, because I see a start and a finish, and like some visually gets done, right? And my job now is a lot of like long-term projects, like 6 months or a year or whatever. And so my payoff days come 2 or 3 a year. Like, I need smaller payoff days. But the why, I get to walk into branches all around our association, and I see, the kid who figured out swimming for the first time, or the kid who's excited to go play sports, and the senior who has someone to sit and have coffee with, and the health seeker is like, hey, I needed someone who would accept me for where I'm at in life. And it's the place where everybody can feel part of something. And that's a big payoff every day. And so.
Yeah. So you have your hand in everything from putting out fires at our branches.
Literally
yeah,
and figuratively.
Yeah. Yes.
More than once. Yeah.
And then also being involved in big capital projects, new builds, like from the ground up. As you mentioned, there's lots of different projects and things that you have your hand in. What do you think you wish people would know about facilities and how they help, that your department helps advance the mission of the Y? Like, you're not just there to like fix the leak. You are there.
Yeah.
We appreciate that you fix the leaks, but you also serve a much bigger purpose.
I think it's sometimes challenging to just be seen as like the maintenance team. Like, it's sometimes the afterthought. I feel like my responsibility is to create a space where programs can happen, where everyone's comfortable and included. And for sure, programs come first. If I were just to build a Y in the middle of somewhere, it wouldn't just work. People need to be there for the program and for what the connection that they have, and for the friendship and all the things. But the first step in the Y, someone comes in because they want something. The second time they come to the Y is because they felt something there. And my job is to make that happen. Like, how do I make it comfortable, inclusive, welcoming? And it's everything from, does it look nice? Is it painted? Is it clean? Is there dust on the equipment? Is the shower tidy? Like, all the things make a difference to that member experience. I wish people understood that the level of care that my staff has goes beyond just doing the thing. Like, they really, really want to make it the great place. So one of my staff, and Daniel, who's legit amazing, had a member come up to him, and he said that his wife was struggling with dementia. And he's like, is there a way for us to just mark the equipment so she knows which one to go on her own? Because she can't find the place, and like, it's too hard to read it and then find the right machine. And he's like, yeah, I can totally fix that for you. And so he went and got stickers and put numbered stickers on every machine, so that she could say, oh, I need to go to machine number 1 and do this exercise, and machine number 2 and this exercise. And it wasn't a big deal, but it gave her some autonomy. And in a time when she was losing a lot, she gained something that day. And that wasn't because I said, hey, go do the thing. Like, Daniel saw value in helping that person. And that is what all of my staff do. To some greater or lesser extent, like, they really want to make that experience great for people. And it gave this member something back that she lost. Like, how do you beat that?
Right. Yeah.
I think awesome. I think it's easy for us to say the folks who run the program and the teen directors and the child care directors and all they do a great job, and they do an outstanding work. We can provide a place that makes that easier and makes it accessible for all people. And that, I think, is what people should like. That part of the how we're working together on that is sometimes overlooked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would say your staff now, I mean, we've worked together for quite some time. So the evolution of your staff has been fun. But I would say your staff, the team that you have now does deeply care.
Yeah.
And often is sending me messages on like, hey, how can we make this better? How can we do this? Or can I get a new one of these? Or, so I very much appreciate that about your staff. And you've created that culture. So thank you for that.
I mean, it's easy when you work with good people, right? Like they want to do the right thing. We just give them some guidance in the right direction and let them run.
Yeah.
It's been really good.
So when you're walking through a Y,
Yeah.
what do you see that other people might miss?
Light bulbs. I have a passion for light bulbs.
It's true. It's very true.
If you ask my staff, I have 4 pet peeves. The first one for sure is lighting. All the lights should match and all the lights should be on. Like, I have spasms when I walk into a building and like you put 2 different color lights there. It doesn't work for me. All this comes back to the member experience of it all. Members aren't going to know why the place looks weird, and they're not going to maybe realize why it's a little off, but those details make all the difference for them. So lighting, number 1. Number 2, I really hate dust bunnies. Like, just sweep up and clean up. Like, it's a low bar. 3rd, dirty equipment. Like, if a member wants to come in and use a piece of equipment and they are on a treadmill for a half hour looking at the dirt on top of the cover, we've not done our job well. And they're going to leave with the perception the Y is dirty. And it probably isn't, but their experience was it was. The 4th one are showers. Like, you got to have clean, nice smelling showers. If there's mold in the showers, super low bar. Just clean it up. Because we're asking people to come to our building to spend a fair amount of money and experience all of that in our place in the way we design for them. And the secret is they can do all that somewhere else. They can run outside. Shocker. They can bike outside. They can buy their own weight set. They're choosing to do it with us. They deserve the best we can offer. And so light bulbs is where it all starts.
I do have to say you're also one of my best flyer spies.
Yes.
And signage.
It should be tidy. Like,
I very much appreciate it. And it also cracks me up that I'm like,
I went
Rob's
to
had it.
I get to tour a lot of Ys in my job. And so anywhere I go, my wife will tell you if I'm on vacation, I'm like, oh, there's a Y, we should go see it, right? I always think there's something I can learn from them. And so we were at a Y just in Wichita, Kansas. And I walked through, and it took me a second to realize why I loved it so much. And it was that there was no signage. They had like one digital sign up and some stuff behind the front desk on a digital sign and no flyers. And they're like, yeah, we don't do it. I was like, how do you tell people? Like, they can come ask us, or we can share it in our classes or whatever. Like, it just clutters the place.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks so pretty. And I came, I think we talked about it when I came back. I'm like, let me show you all the pictures.
Yeah.
No signs anywhere.
Yes.
But
It's like, we got to do a slow roll, Rob.
we're I think we sometimes, I don't want to hear, we're going to be therapy time for Rob.
We also love our branches and our relationships with the branches. So it's a slow roll, but yes.
They're really trying to get the information to the members. Like,
100%.
they really have a great intent.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes good intent is causes additional problems, right? Yes. And they just don't know it. And there's this is probably not where you want to go, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. There's this theory, like, if you walk into a casino and there's 1,000 machines or whatever, and they all are making noise at the same time, but your brain can handle it because all casino machines are tuned to the key of C. So it's a musical, like the C chord, all of them are these 5 notes. Every sound they make will be on this. Otherwise, it would be pure chaos, right? And your brain would be like, I can't stay here.
Yeah.
I did
Never
not
thought
think so.
about that. But
Yeah.
you're right.
Like, they're very intentional because they want you to stay and they want you to spend money, right? We had that same experience when we walk into a room and there's clutter. Our brain is trying to figure out why it all works and where it all goes and why that isn't level and why that's not where, like, and so even different fonts, different colors, like, all that makes a difference. And if a member comes into RY and leaves exhausted, not knowing why, because working out is great for you. And like you get endorphins and all the things. You should leave happy. But when they come in and they're exhausted because we have signage or clutter or our equipment isn't lined up well or it's hard to find a thing or whatever, they leave mentally tired. And that doesn't encourage them to come back. And so part of what my personal goal in life is to make that experience better for them, because it should be a great place and they should want to come back and they should leave feeling better than they got there. And some of that I can help with and some of it we're going to get there on.
Yes.
Some of them you seek help on,
Yes.
AKA our team.
Some of them I go to therapy over. It's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
So you, as we mentioned earlier, have been involved in all sorts of projects. Can you describe one that was maybe particularly meaningful to you and just why it mattered?
That's why I brought my tissue today. Yeah, so we recently built an accessible ramp in the front of Heatherwood, our early learning center. We had a kid who was coming to our center. The only way to get that child into the building was through a back door. I have a nephew has passed away, have muscular dystrophy, and Brennan was a great kid. All the things you'd want in a kid, and just couldn't do the same things physically. And more often than not, had to be taken around somewhere or parked in a different space or like all these accommodations because he couldn't physically go the same place we could go. Whether it's renting a hotel room or going on vacation or even going to Disneyland, like all those things are impacted. And he never got to go to summer camp. He never, like all these things that just weren't open to him. And I have a burning desire that no kid should be told no and no kid should be sent to the back door. Like every kid comes in the front door. And so we recently got this done. We got a grant for it. It was awesome. Gina Casagrande out in Mill Creek was pushing that. She also has similar passion for this. And it's one of those things like it's so easy to be better. And it's so easy to just make it so that everybody can come in the front door. Like we have to just find a way for this. And as we look at Camp Casey is not at all designed for accessibility. And it's big and it's wonderful and has lots of options and potential. And we have to be super focused on how do we get that so that every kid goes to camp. Like the experience you get at camp from the inflatables or from anything else, like all the things that happen there, all the experiences they get there, shouldn't ever be taken away because you can't walk or you're different or whatever. Like the place is weird for everyone. And yesterday, big payoff day for me, we got our first handicap accessible golf carts was delivered to camp. And so now if a child needs to go from archery to the mess hall, which is a half a mile, we can make that a little easier for them. So
that's so cool. And I know you've played a big role in like renovations slowly. I know it'll take a lot of time at camp, but you're a big advocate in making that happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is one fully accessible YMCA camp in the country. It's in California, and that's too far to send our kids. We have to be the next one, and we have to be the one that everybody wants to come to because no kid should be told no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of renovations and new facilities and all the other giant projects that you have a hand in, how do you balance those projects with today's needs and keeping, in mind the needs of future generations?
Honestly, we guess a little. Like, open spaces are important. They offer a ton of flexibility. So as open as I can make it, as free as I can make it, better. We do our best to find out what the trends are, what people are happening. We spend a lot of time looking at other Ys. There's always something another Y does better. And to be honest, we're a really, really great Y. Like, we do a lot of things right, and we do a lot of things that are forward thinking, but we don't have it all figured out. And so we look at, how can I use this in multiple ways? We're currently in the process of putting some turf outside in some spaces at a couple of branches. Kids can still play there, which they do now. They can also do classes out there. They can do little kiddie sports. They can do all the things that will just allow us more options, and frankly, for a pretty low cost. And so I think my job is to find that thing that makes a ton of sense, but also, if it's going to cost some money, it all does. And I don't have a ton of heartburn about spending people's money. Like, thank you, donors. We appreciate you. But that's really what makes it all happen for these kids, like, and for the adults and for everybody who gets to use the space. And so we really try to get the best information out there, the best data out there that we can. And then we try and, I guess, see the future a little bit. But honestly, we guess a lot. Don't tell my boss.
Well, we won't. So you are often described as the ultimate team player. And I know both Emily and I have experienced that multiple times firsthand. You are a yes person. You are helpful. You are always there, which is so appreciated, with a good attitude. Maybe not a smile on your face all the time, but a good attitude.
Fair.
So how do you approach leadership when your work touches nearly every part of the organization, every department and different staff?
I think there's maybe two parts of leadership. I think the first one is you have to serve other people. Like, honestly, that not only does it help build great relationships, but that's what I'm there to do, is to help people eliminate barriers that are in their way. The second one is I really invest in the staff, and not just my staff, but like other staff. Like, how do I make you be successful at your job? And if you're successful at your job, you're going to be happy. And if you're happy, you're going to stay here. And I want my coworkers to stay. I think when I look around at different departments and different things that are happening, we're doing amazing things. What can I do to make that easier so we can have more and more success in what we're doing? We can serve more kids. We can honestly make a little extra money, which is great, because then I can serve more kids. And I think that I tell my staff often, like, I can't want it more than you do, but if you want it, I'm going to help you get it. And that's really my approach to that. And my staff are really great about that. But I also get to work with cool folks, like, who do great things. Like, for example, right now I'm helping our STEM team is putting together a trailer so they can do a portable science projects with stuff with kids in communities that don't have a Y. So, like, think Darrington or Arlington or Duval or some of these, like, Sultan, like some of these communities a little farther out that maybe it's not reasonable to go to the Y and do a STEM activity. And so, like, that makes me super happy. Like, Lauren is, she's got this great vision for it, and she's driven this and got the grant money for it and all the things. And I get to go help make this thing that we've never done before. And it's super easy to ask people for money because it's super cool. And so I'm happy to, like, fill that gap. And also, like, how can I make this a reality? That's a big payoff day, right? Like, that, I don't know. That's helping other people is the key to all the things, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, and it comes very naturally for you because you're just there. Like, you're everywhere all the time. And
I've had a lot of people stand up for me, right? So this is not just, I didn't just come up with it. The fact that Tom was like, hey, I'm going to give up my pay raise. I'm not doing that for anybody. Like, no way.
At least you're also honest. We can't
I got bills to pay, right? But, like, he invested in me when I did not deserve it, to be honest. Like, I was not, I was cocky. I was all the things that you'd expect from a commercial gym guy. And he's like, no, you're my guy. And he invested in what my future was. And up until the time that he retired, he would continually like, hey, how do I get you to the next thing? How do I get you to do this and do this? And the position I have now has never existed in the Y in our association, mostly because Patsy and Tom like saw something in me that I could do more, and they invested in my future and they helped me to get where I'm at. The least I can do is then take advantage of the privilege I have right now and help other people. Like, I love when a kid comes up to me and it's like, hey, Rob, can you help me get a job at the Y? I'm like, absolutely, I can. Here's who you talk to. Here's like, I will go visit them today.
Yeah.
Because that little bit might be the thing that changes that person's life. And if I can help STEM, or I can help a health and wellness director or whatever, like to just do a little more, that may be the thing. Like, that's exciting to me.
Yeah.
So it's easy to do that, help people make dreams come true. I'm basically like Disney in person form.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a bigger ego, maybe.
Well, also you have dressed up as the grandpa from Up, so I just need to
That's
note
true.
that Disney, that form of Disney.
Yeah. So yes, yes. There's a. I also have no problem embarrassing myself, to be honest.
We know.
If it's a good cause, I'm all in. You mentioned the prom dress.
Yeah.
There's a video somewhere.
It's on Facebook. Maybe
Excellent.
we'll link it.
Good,
I
good.
don't know. We'll see.
I'm sure we'll attach that.
Check the show notes.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if that helps a kid find the Y or helps an adult feel like, hey, I can go there, like, yeah, I'm in. If I need to dress up in an inflatable costume for senior overnight camp, like, yeah, okay. And it was great, and they had a great
Run
time.
through the woods sweating to try and figure out where the seniors actually are.
Okay, side story. So Melissa and I, among many other people, Andy and Stephanie, and a whole bunch of other folks, came together. I just showed up and drove a bus and entertained some folks who were way too close to my age for my own comfort. At some point, I realized that in like 3 years, I can go to senior overnight camp. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. We showed up and they went on a walk in the woods, and I had brought several inflatable costumes. And one of them was a dinosaur and a unicorn or something. And so we got dressed up, and I happened to be in the inflatable T-Rex costume, right? And so we walked up the trail where we thought that they were not there. And so we assumed they went on the other trail. So Melissa and I are literally running through the woods. It's all steamy inside and gross, and like moisture coming down the inside. I couldn't see out of it. And finally, by the time like unzipping, taking it off, I'm sweating so bad. And I have her like wrapped around my waist, and we walk back and we see them, and we're like, zip it up. And we show up, and they scream with delight, just like little kids. And they had a great time. And I was like, if that's going to help someone have a great time at camp, like, of course I'm going to do that. Like, how would I? It doesn't hurt me to be embarrassed. It's fine.
Yeah.
good.
I would say that you live for bringing like joy to people's faces.
Yeah. I mean, why would you not?
I mean, you more than some people, like you will go out of your way to embarrass yourself because it will make someone smile, or a senior be all giddy with a inflatable costume. So
It's a real deal. Like, make people happy. It makes a difference for them and doesn't cost me anything.
yeah.
Like,
So you are obviously also a volunteer. You volunteered at senior overnight camp in inflatable costumes, as we know. But how would you say that your volunteer perspective influences your leadership?
is that service part of it? There's a great quote on the wall in Stanwood. Why am I spacing on the name right now? Floyd Jones, huge
I was
donor.
assuming that was
Yeah.
him. But I was like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
sorry.
It's a
That took me way too long.
Yeah.
Sorry, Floyd. He saw something in the Y and said, I want a Y in my community, and donated an extraordinarily large amount of money and got people to be part of this fundraising campaign so we could build the Stanwood Y, and went above and beyond. And he and his lovely wife made it possible for the Stamina Y to happen, and then continued to donate to the Everett Y campaign and so on. You'll see his name in many places around the Y. He has a great quote that says, philanthropy is sweetness to the soul. That's a legit thing. Like, there's nothing better than giving back to someone and seeing it make a difference for them. That doesn't really cost me a ton. And volunteering, like, it's all sweet. Like, you just go and have a great time and you make it possible for some kid to do something, whether it's Miracle League or whether it's Little League or whatever it is you're going just to help a kid or help an adult. It fills my bucket, it makes me happy. I think the same as applies to my staff or to folks that I work with. If I can help them get the thing, it doesn't cost me anything. A little bit of time, like, so what? What am I going to do that's better with my time than helping someone get where they're going or achieve their goals? We talk about, like, swim lessons are like core to the Y, and we talk a lot about swimming is the risk of drowning is a high risk of death for kids. And so how do we get them to be safer around water and be able to swim and accomplish all these things? The secret is, I don't think it's really about swimming. I think it's really about, how do I change that kid's self-esteem? That they walked up to a giant body of water that could kill them, and they were scared and they did the hard thing. And they overcame that, and they realized something about themselves. They're tougher than that thing, and they're stronger than that thing. And they're hopefully going to leave learning to swim, yes, but also changing who they are. And as adults, we have the same problem. Like, I don't want to be embarrassed in front of my boss. I don't want the hard thing, whatever. And it's okay for it to be hard, but we don't need to make it unnecessarily hard. And so if I can help someone to get over the hard thing and to get where they need to go, like, why would I not do that? So many people have done it for me. Like, I should return the favor. So that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I think almost everything you do is mission driven, whether people realize it or not. So with all the complexities of your job and all the things you're working on, what keeps you grounded in that mission every day?
I get to go to the Y, each branch of the Y, probably more often than most people. And it's a little kid running up to the door who's excited to go to kids club. Mm-hmm. And it's a parent who looks thrilled that they can drop their kid off at kids club.
That was
like,
me.
I need 2 hours, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it's the place where everybody gets something at a very low bar. Like, the cost is super small. And if the cost is a barrier, we'll help you with that. Like, we'll help, like, we'll let you in for, like, basically nothing, if that'll get you in the door, because this is valuable to us and it's valuable to our community. And so seeing that in action every day, like, the rest of my job is super easy. Like, I deal with budgets. I deal with, like, the stuff. There's hard things for sure. Yeah. But I get to make a place where people feel valued, people feel included, people feel part of something bigger than themselves, and to be part of a community of people. And how do I not love that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you think about the future of the Y, the future facilities that have yet to be built, all the different things and the lives that'll be impacted inside the walls of the Y or outside of the walls if it's a STEM trailer, what gives you hope?
The next generation of people. I think when I first came to the Y, so in between my my old job and this job I have now, I enrolled my kids in basketball practice or basketball, whatever. They went to basketball. Yeah. Yeah. And at some point, we didn't have enough money to pay the bill. And I got the job at the Y, and my first paycheck, I was like, I got to go make sure my account's paid up because I feel bad. Like, I'm like, oof, no, and it was a lot of stress for me. And it shouldn't have been, but it was. And that's where I was at. And so, I get in, I get it paid. And then I said, hey, how much do I owe for the next thing and whatever? And it was less because I was an employee, so that was great. But there was some stress involved in that. It was hard for me to go and be like, I have to own up to this thing now. What it did for me, what I've learned since then is that that's never going to be a barrier for people. If we just we have to get that message out, let them know about it. And then we provide a place where every kid and every adult can belong. And having that place, it takes away some of the hard part of life, right? And that gives me hope for people. Like, if I can provide a place that's better for the next generation, awesome. They're better than I am, like, for sure. When I look at whether it's my kids or whether it's someone else's kids, they're coming up with a different set of rules than I had and the different opportunities than I had. And they're going to be able to do more than I did. And what we imagine, and I said before, we're pretty like forward-facing. We do a lot of things well. The next generation will do it better. I love the idea that some stuff I get to do will outlive me. Like, I'll pick on a branch. Like Marysville, great branch. That building is getting old. And we're going to do some things and to give it new life eventually and like things like that. But that building may not be there by the time I pass away. Like, I don't know, hopefully a very long time. But that building has a lifespan, right? Camp, those buildings have a lifespan, but the place doesn't.
Right.
Right. So like, what can I invest in the place or in the people? Because it isn't just about what I'm going to do, but how can I set it up for the next people who come along? Like, who's going to come next and build the next cool thing and expand what we do to a new community, a new group of people or whatever. I have a ton of faith in the next generation. They're it. Like, I'm just along for the ride until I hand it off.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us today. And it's always fun. We see you every day, and it's always fun to kind of talk to you in a little bit different context and hear your story and your perspective, which is so valuable. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Tom from the Y with this week's origin story. The YMCA in World War II. December 7th, 1941. The attack on Pearl Harbor changes everything. Almost overnight, the United States enters World War II, and communities across the country shift their focus to the war effort. Everett was no exception. Payne Field became a hub of military activity. The waterfront buzzed with support operations, and at the YMCA, priorities changed just as quickly. Serving the community now meant serving those in uniform. Before housing was built at Payne Field, the YMCA stepped in. The auditorium was transformed into a dormitory with more than 70 beds. Club rooms became sleeping quarters. Even the lobby filled with servicemen sleeping on couches and chairs. Every available space was put to use. The showers and swimming pools saw constant activity as military personnel moved through the facility. And the pool became more than a place for recreation. A training tower was built at the deep end, where Payne Field trainees practiced jumping into the water and deploying life rafts, preparing for emergencies they hoped would never happen. The YMCA wasn't just supporting the war effort, it was becoming a part of it. And there was another need to meet. Thousands of servicemen were far from home, looking for connection, friendship, and a sense of normalcy. That's where the USO came in. The YMCA, along with other national organizations, formed the United Service Organizations, better known as the USO, creating a welcoming place for servicemen to gather, socialize, and find home away from home. The USO Center operated on Wetmore Avenue, but the YMCA opened its doors and shared its facilities to support the effort. In the 1940s, the mission of serving others extended far beyond Everett's neighborhoods. reaching the men and women who were serving the nation during one of the most pivotal moments in history.
Thanks for listening to The Story Place. If this story resonated with you, subscribe and share your own story by sending us an email or voice memo to stories@ymca-snowco.org or click the link in the show notes because
There's no place like this place.